Hello there. Welcome to Leading Edge, our resource to support your leadership journey as we seek to raise effective godly leaders. Last week, we concluded our 4-part series on Dream to Lead. We covered that vision thing and then goals to gold, transforming your goals to reality. We also covered Just Do It, the power of execution. And finally, the 4th part was on Dream to Lead. Now you can live your dream. We received so many feedbacks from a number of you on how useful that series was. My advice, put the learnings to work. Remember, nothing works until you work it. Let me also shout out to all those who participated in the 30 Days Discipline Challenge. It was exciting hearing and seeing the transformation that exercise brought to so many of you. So, keep the flames. Today, we start a new series that I have called Passion to Profit. I'll tell that again, Passion to Profit. And so in the next few editions, we shall be exploring the tricky subject of passion and how to make it work for you, how to translate it into profit, both for yourself and for others around you. In this first part, we shall look at what I've called rethinking passion. All right. Now, the career motivational literature is full of the well-worn advice. Follow your passion. I'm sure you have heard a bit about that. That injunction makes sense on the face of it. Follow your passion. It means to pursue the career, the vocation, the idea, the activity that holds special interest for you. In fact, a study of MBA students of an Ivy League business school showed that 90% of them indicated that pursuing their passion was a key factor for them in their future jobs. This, of course, comes from the established hypothesis that the key to career success and fulfillment is to first figure out what you are passionate about and then find a job that matches or aligns with this passion. We are told if you follow your passion, very soon the money will follow you. Good advice. But is that all the truth about passion? Or is it an overrated concept? But seriously, we have seen multiple examples of men and women who did just that. They followed their passion and they became very well accomplished. Indeed, the money reciprocated and followed them afterwards. Every day, we see and hear stories of people who are locked into a job, a business, a project, but they have something else that really carries fun and meaning for them by the side. Once they are at it, they seem to come alive. They light all up. They suddenly come into the best version or expression of who they are. So, we find so many people who are struggling to reconcile the job they do with what they feel is their life purpose. We find people who believe that they are called to fix something, say in the education sector or in healthcare or in government. Meanwhile, they are sales agents or accountants or storekeepers or business executives somewhere. Because while the dream beckons, their bills are piling up and waiting to be paid. Some of them eventually succeed to make the switch and zero in on their area of passion, or what I've called some time ago, the zone of genius. So, Anengozi Chimamanda Adichie started with studying medicine and pharmacy at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. While at it, her muse kept calling. Today, we know her for being a woman of great words and not a woman with a scalpel. So people get into their zone of passion in different ways. Sometimes you find your passion. Some other times, your passion finds you. Okay? So for some people, it comes through a process of self-discovery. It can come early in life, as with Ngozi Chimamanda, or later in life, like on Harlan Sanders, who found his passion for fast foods and started KFC at the age of 62. For some others, their passion comes after a major event or experience in life. This could be a tragic event that led to a loss, only for them to find themselves, or perhaps even something good. So the fact is that sometimes you have to lose something to be able to find yourself. Indeed, instability rearranges your priorities. For some, their passion finds them, like my sister Ayo Megbokwe, the Moi Moi woman. Now, passion is important, both in terms of having a special interest that holds meaning for you and in terms of a state of being where you feel a burning commitment for something. In my book, Everyday Leadership, I had noted that there are 3 things you require to grow in life. These are talent or skill, opportunity, and passion. The point is, other people can help you with the first 2, that is, talent or skill, and opportunity. But it's only you that can generate the inner fire of passion for yourself. Have skill and opportunity without passion, you will waste both of them. However, if you have passion, it can drive you to acquire new skills and seek out fresh opportunities. A man without passion or drive can hardly touch any true destination in life. Even if he does, he will not sustain his stay there because he does not possess the staying power of passion. Now, with all that said, I have found that there are a couple of misconceptions people have about passion. In a Harvard Business Review article entitled "The 3 Reasons It's So Hard to Follow Your Passion," the writer examined 3 of such misconceptions. But here, I will look at 4 misconceptions about passion. Number 1, the first misconception people have about passion is that it is always something to be found. Now, as a result of this, people move from one thing to another in search of their passion. Now, finding an area of passion may be true for some people, but it is a limiting mindset. For some, the approach may just be to get passionate about what you have found already. The truth is that there are people that get into jobs, activities, projects that they didn't feel quite up to at the first. But as they explored it, they fell in love with it. They found meaning in it. The craze to find the perfect job that makes you feel good is deadly limiting. It creates the notion that passion is fixed. No, not necessarily. Passion is not fixed. It can be developed. To think it's fixed blocks us from exploring new interests, new ideas, new projects. It can lead to not trying out anything new because you find it difficult. So number 2, the other misconception about passion is that passion is what we love or what gives us fun. Again, not necessarily. Passion is more about what we care about than it is what's fun-filled or easy. Thinking of passion as merely what we love leads to the misconception that passion is about what we enjoy, about what makes us happy. On the other hand, if you think of passion as what we care about, then you are more likely to align your passion to your purpose, to your values, and to the impact you will make with it. In fact, a study shows that those who focus on what they love or what gives them fun turn out unsuccessful in what they do. Think about that. This is because it takes more than fun and feeling happy to get things going for the long haul. The exact opposite is the case, however, for those who focus on what they really care about. They succeed better in what they do. My wife, who studied Dutch, confirmed to me that the German word for passion is Leidenschaft, which literally means the ability to or for hardship. Now, Kevin Hall, in his insightful book, Aspire, Discovering Your Purpose Through the Power of Words, notes that the word passion surfaced first in the 12th century from Christian writers and was used in reference to the suffering of the Christ, quite close to what is eminently captured in the movie The Passion of the Christ. In some sense, passion means a willingness to suffer for what you love. So, Kevin links suffering or passion with sacrifice. Sacrifice, he says, comes from two Latin words, sacra, which means sacred, and fice, which means to perform. So, to sacrifice is to perform the sacred. Essentially then, passion means sacred suffering. So passion is not merely a feel-good activity. It is an activity that you are willing to pay the price to be able to perform it and to excel in it. Passion stretches you. Your true passion will stretch you. Indeed, the sacred stretches. Your passion leads you to your gift. It leads you to live your gift regardless. It leads you to what you are meant to do in life. Now, Steve Jobs is a very good example here. If you ask what was Steve Jobs' passion, what was his dream career, a career he found to be fun, you are quite likely going to say technology. In fact, in a commencement speech to the 2005 graduating class, of Stanford University, Steve stood before a 23,000 audience, clad in his academic robes under which he wore jeans and sandals, and he offered the following advice. He said, "You've got to find what you love. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle." This was, of course, greeted with a loud standing ovation. Why the ovation was loud, as most motivational talks are, the reality, at least from Steve Jobs' personal experience, was something different. Anyone who has read Steve Jobs' biography knows that his passion, what he really loved to do, was not technology. Steve actually attended Reed College, where he studied Western history and dance. He had no interest in business or technology, but was most steeped in Eastern mysticism, growing long hairs and walking barefooted. Now, after dropping out of school, but remaining on campus for a while, Steve had gone to work in a company called Atari to escape the menace of poverty. So really, it was poverty that drove him to work. He left that job for months at a point for a mendicant spiritual journey through India. He returned to train further in Eastern mysticism at a Zen center. His eventual involvement with computers was because his friend Steve Wozniak invited him to help him sort out the arrangement for his participation in a computer time-sharing company that someone else had started. Still, Steve abandoned that job again to go for another mystical commune journey. Thereafter, he started Apple, conceived then as a low-risk side hustle, not out of love for computers or business, but merely as a means for survival. What am I saying with all this? It appears that Steve's advice in the commencement speech I referenced is suspect. If he had followed his own passion, he probably would have become a monk or a mystical teacher somewhere, because that was his passion. So Steve started Apple, moved from a need for making extra money. But then, once Apple started making the big legendary breaks, Steve developed a passion for his business, for technology. So, find your passion or grow the passion for what you have found. That is my point. So now, number 3. The third misconception about passion is that passion is everything. Again, I say to you, no, it's not. Passion has its limit. In fact, passion can work against you. And I will explain. Some people define passion as anything you can do for a long time without being bored or tired. Correct? All right. For some, that passion could be watching football or discussing politics or social media or cracking jokes. So some people can stay up for hours watching football, watching others play and earn, and they are quite passionate about it. The same goes for social media freaks and spectator politicians, I'll call them. It's their joy, their inextricable pastime. The only challenge is that it adds nothing to them. If anything, these passions appear to sabotage their true growth in life. So, I will ask you, on what do you exert your energy? Are you applying your passion properly? Does the passion you have help you achieve your purpose? These are the key questions. Your passion can be a raging fire that burns your treasures. See, a wrongly directed passion sabotages your true purpose and life. So, don't let it. Learn rather to employ your passion as an ally, not as an adversary. Okay. So number 4, the fourth and final misconception about passion that I would like to discuss here is that the passion you feel is the real deal. And my response, not all the time. It may be masking the real deal. Have you had the experience of being all consumed with an activity that 3 hours appear like 30 minutes? You are so consumed that you forget to have lunch or dinner. Now, I heard a story once of a writer who went to an isolated place to write. One of the days, he had invited a friend for lunch at a particular hour. The friend arrived for lunch that was already set up, but the writer was not there. He waited for a while, and the host was nowhere to be found. Meantime, the writer was all wrapped up, completely sucked into his writing. It was not until several hours later that he went down to the dining room. He opened the dishes to find that they were empty. He smiled sheepishly to himself and said, I didn't remember I had eaten. And he went back up to continue writing. The friend had eaten the whole meal and turned the place back. Talk about passion, right? Now, why this example is about a passion directed appropriately to something productive. Just imagine having the same level of passion for something like video games, or like I mentioned earlier, watching football, or discussing politics, or scavenging social media. Then what if the passions for these activities were merely masking something more profound underneath? Now hear this. What if the love for video games is not just for the games themselves, not just about the stories or graphics, but more about the competition, the striving to win, the striving to make things better? What if it's really about picking up the drive to make things happen, to solve a problem? What if the passion for football was also about learning winning strategies? What if it's about finding something of value within the large football value chain where you could make a difference? What if the craze for politics was really about seeing everyday problems and providing solutions to them? So what could be lurking behind your passion? What deeper value may there be inside of it? Don't get carried away by the outer coatings. Find the thing behind your passion. There may just be more. Great. So we have walked through rethinking passion, which is the first part in this series, Passion to Profit. We have attempted to explore the meaning, the dynamics, and different ramifications of passion. Particularly, we have examined 4 misconceptions people have about passion. These were: misconception 1, passion is something to be found. I said this is limiting. Passion is elastic. It can be developed. It can grow. Number 2, passion is what we love or what gives us fun. Again, I said not exactly. Passion is more about what we care about than it is about what we love or find fun in. Number 3, passion is everything. What did I say? No, it is not. Passion has its limits. In fact, it can work against you if you misapply it. And finally, number 4, passion is the real deal. The truth, however, is that not all the time. It may be masking the real deal itself. Now, let's close this conversation with explaining to you what I call the triangle of living. The triangle of living. Here, I am referring to 3 critical things around which we conduct our life activities. These are your job, your work, and your passion. Now, they are different from one another. Your job refers to your means of livelihood. You may be in a career or a business that fetches you money or the resources to live. That is your job. Your passion is what you care about and what you love doing. You are in fact willing to make sacrifices for it. This is another thing. Number 3, your work is used here to refer to what you are called to do. what your purpose is and what your life is about. Now, where you stand in the pyramid of fulfillment in life is determined by how you are able to bring all these three pillars into some sort of alignment. The better you are able to reconcile them or bring them together, the more fulfilled you become. For some, your job may be different from your passion and your work. Now, this immediately carries quite some tensions. So you sometimes feel very strong sense of dissatisfaction because there's a wide disparity between your job and your passion and your life work. Then there is a scenario where your job is the same with your passion, but not necessarily with your work or your life purpose. Here, the fulfillment level is lifted. You are more satisfied with what you do for a living. However, you still desire greater meaning in your life. Now, there is the third scenario, then, where your job is the same with your passion and your work. This is the point of life synergy. There is a total reconciliation of the triangle. Your life is at its peak. It is full of meaning. Just one more thing about your job. Your job is quite important. It is your means of livelihood, and therefore it is critical. So even when you are at the first point where it is different, your job is different from your passion and your work, your job still plays a very vital role. Sometimes your job could be financing your passion or your work. At other times, it may be actually providing you a platform to perform your life work. As we said, the point of fulfillment is where your job becomes the same with your passion and your work. This is where you really begin to enjoy life. So we shall explore this point deeper in the next episode. But remember, understand your passion and employ it as an ally and not as an adversary. Let your passion work for you. Thank you. So this brings us to the end of the session today. I'd like to thank you for joining us. If you have not started following us on all our social media handles, please do well to do so today. And continue to like, to share, and to comment on this video if it's been helpful to you. Thank you again for joining. This has been Leading Edge.